Hi, Jeff Ward here, Managing Director of Decide XL. Today is a very exciting day, the day before Halloween. Today we have the Director of Sales and Marketing, uh, Gabrielle Alvarado with us, and we greatly appreciate your audience today. And what we thought we would do today is to give you a Q&A session with Gabby on some questions that we've gotten from our audience, kind of some polled questions. So with that, Gabby, would you like to introduce yourself real quick and then we'll get started?
Of course. So my name is Gabriella Alvarado. I go by Gabby. I've been with Synoptics for about 2 years, a little over that now. I have taken over as Director of Sales and Marketing. This is by far my best product that I've worked with and best company that I've worked with. They have been able to solve problems that I wish I had when I was doing some operational reporting. So it's a very good product in my mind. And I'm happy to be here to be able to answer these questions.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for introducing yourself, Gabby. So I know our audience is waiting on bated breath to hear some of your answers. So with that, I would ask, what do you most enjoy about working at Synoptic? What is your day like? Tell us about a day in the life.
So I think one of my favorite parts about working at Synoptics is just the customers I get to work with. A lot of them have been in their industry for a very long time. They're very good at their jobs, and they've just hit the wall and the limitations of what they've found in their company's IT departments. And so I'm very happy to be able to assist them in getting past those things. Uh, Really, the people that I work with are just they're just people, and they're trying to get their job done, and they're trying to be good at their job. And so I really enjoy being able to help those people more than I think anything else at my job. On my daily tasks, I think just being able to follow up with them, find out how we've made a difference, and being able to continue that partnership over time, not just as we're completing a purchase or implementation. Those are some of the things that I enjoy the most about my day at work.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. From your perspective, well, let me ask you this. When was the last time you met face to face with one of your Synoptic clients?
So I was actually just out in Orlando and at a conference, and I was able to meet with a lot of our existing customers, and they were actually quite. We've gone to the same conferences for quite a while, so I always enjoy seeing them again. But many of them had either new things that they wanted to tackle, because we really pride ourselves in not only being part of your beginning solutions where you're trying to just get your financials in hand, but also being able to expand things into your business processes. So since I was there to really demonstrate some of our new releases, we were able to have a conversation about how it can impact their business. And so very recently, I was able to talk to quite a few of our customers. I really enjoy being able to see them face to face. So I go to a lot of conferences to be able to keep that same rapport with our customers, and so they know that we're invested in them as well.
Fantastic. What did they share with you? What was the one thing they loved more than anything else about Synoptic's application?
I think the most highlighted benefit of Synoptics is really when they are autonomous in their work. So they're not depending on IT to complete their work. They're able to very quickly make ad hoc reports that they know are coming directly from their database. And so that information is as real time as it gets. They're able to get their answers quickly and make better decisions because of that. And so those are really the main impacts that they talk about, is being able to know what's going to happen in their business in the next 30 days, in the next 60 days with aging reports, being able to see how much is on their shop floor, or even just being able to see what's going on their financial statements, and knowing that those numbers are true. And if they make a change, they can instantly see it right in their report.
Gotcha. And so it sounds like that Synoptic has got a tool that is very much designed and built for the accounting team. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is really what makes the difference between Synoptics and any other reporting tool. Many of the reporting tools out there are going to focus on IT, are going to focus on you understanding the database and the tables and fields and the SQL queries that you're going to need to pull more than anything else. Where we focus on the business office or the accountants that are doing the work and trying to get that final result. And so we have built a platform that looks very similar to Excel. So it's something that they will be comfortable working within. And then in addition to that, they have the connection directly to their database, and they're building templates. So they only build the report once. They can run it for any date that they want, and we're not having to replicate work every month or every quarter or every year. They now get the report that they can hand directly to their boss, and all they have to do is press a button.
Fantastic. You know, I talk to controllers all the time that have used tools like Crystal Reports or FRX and those sort of things. And I always hear about their dependency on IT because they're very powerful applications, but it requires somebody with a very technical background to be able to write those queries, to be able to write those reports. Have you found that similarly?
Yes. So the dependency on IT with a lot of reporting tools is very present. You're going to find many, many people, they love the idea of what the reporting tool could do for them, but they end up with the same constraints of whatever IT can do and whatever the priority is for IT. And this takes that out of the really the problems that they face, because they're going to be able to do this on their own. They're working with account numbers, ledgers, and time periods, things that they already know, account numbers that they're already familiar with, and we're enabling them to create their own reports without having to wait on IT or learn a whole new language. They're going to keep the same structures, the same formulas that they use today. They're going to be able to type things in. They're going to have the same reports that they have, but they're going to be much more powerful.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Could you share maybe a few results that you've seen from some of Synoptic's clients, results in maybe, as we were talking about, less dependency on IT, or maybe time they found in their month-end closing process by leveraging your tool?
Yes. Well, I actually have an example. It's a little different than just the traditional route, but we have customers that need to go on site to visit their customers or are going to have a conversation with their customers, and they really need to understand that customer before they get on the phone with them, because nobody likes to get on the phone and have an unexpected environment. So in order to help our customers do that, we've created types of dashboards where you get all of that information in a snapshot. So they'll be able to pull in how long has this customer been with us, who is their sales rep, how much have they purchased with us, what are they purchasing. They're also going to be able to take a look at that customer and see, have they had any complaints? Are their shipments getting to them on time? Are we in a good place with this customer? And then also be able to look at it to now have a conversation with them about their best recommendations. Are they buying things at the right time? Should they be buying at other times? Is there an additional product that could be helping out this customer? And so all of this is available with a single dashboard that they could simply change the customer number or the customer name, and they could now apply it to any customer they're about to have a conversation with or go on site to.
Fantastic.
Another way that we've really affected business, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I have one more example of a customer that changed things up in their business processes in a way that is outside of what you would normally see in a report writing tool, and that is that they actually use the information that we're giving them in real time to download all of the customers that they have in collections and their balances and their latest contact and address information to then now create a mail merge. And so they've been able to increase their collections returns by 22%. So they are really seeing a big difference from a business process sense versus just a report.
Fantastic. That's cash flow. We all like cash flow. That's king. I get this all the time when I'm out talking to prospects and to our clients. I get that they're very busy. It's month end, and they don't have time to invest in a partnership with Decide XL or even Synoptic. And I was wondering, I hate for those people to be, have time constraints and not be able to accomplish their goals, or to accomplish their goals, but to do so and be kind of stressed. If there was 3 or 4 steps that you could share, maybe as a guide or some advice to those individuals facing those time constraints, what would those be? What would 3 or 4 steps be that from your experience, knowing the accounting world, what would be some guidance you could give people like that?
Um, I think one of the biggest things that we see with customers who just don't have enough time or resources to even look for a viable solution is normally that they're just trying to accomplish what they're, just trying to get those numbers at the end of the day. And with that, a lot of times the cost of doing it that way is immense. And so with that, I always recommend that they take a look at what are you spending your time on that you are just wasting time. Is it, just trying to find a number, or are you really trying to make the best decision for your company? And if you're looking at long term, you're going to want to organize that as fast as possible. And so with that, sometimes it just means you have to bite the bullet and you have to try to make time to look at what is taking the most time in your business. Is it just trying to organize information because the tool you're using is taking so much time? Or is it that you need to come back and really minimize the information that's going out there? Many times businesses get stuck in, I need this answer, and so there's a report for that. And now I need this answer, so there's a report for that. When we could really structure this into a single report and get all of our answers from a dashboard or from a report that has all these answers for us at the end of the month versus creating 5 or 6 different reports. So really consolidating is my biggest advice to anyone that is trying to minimize the time that they're spending on reporting and closing their month is, really review what is being done that is just waste.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that guidance. That is greatly appreciated. We all have large clients and small clients. We have clients that range from the medical to professional sports, all the way to manufacturing companies, logistic companies, distribution companies. But from your perspective, what would you see the average size client that would leverage Synoptic? What would be a good size company for your application?
So we normally see a very large range of customers. So the company could be a smaller company, but they have a high output, or they could be a very large company and they have an even larger output that scales up, because we scale very easily with customers or companies that are growing. But one thing I think is easier to reference is to look at the size of your chart of accounts. If you have a few hundred, we're going to be a good tool to help you scale up. If you have hundreds of thousands, we're going to be a good tool to organize that. So we can really help most businesses no matter the size. I mean, I think if you're using an ERP, you're going to benefit from Synoptics.
Gotcha. And then, the world is full of these very massive and very powerful ERP applications. Are there any in particular that you don't integrate with, or do you have the ability to integrate with multiple databases, no matter the publisher of the ERP application?
I think that's one of the important parts of using a standalone tool, and that is that we can connect to any database. We work with SQL, we work with Oracle, we work with most of the major ERPs we already implemented with. But the nice thing about Synoptics is that we can connect to any data source. We can connect to a spreadsheet. We can connect to really any ERP out there, because to us, data is data. Our goal is to help it be something that you can easily access without having to depend on IT. So if you have an ERP, we can connect to it.
Fantastic. And 2 more questions, and I know you got to get back to being director of sales and marketing. From your perspective, where is Synoptic going into the future?
So our goal is to be the best product for reporting that you can find. And so whether that means that you're looking at it from the end user point of view, or you're trying to get it off your plate from IT side. So we are pushing things to the future. We are moving to more and more things into our browser-based version, where you're able to just simply run reports and dashboards without having to have any downloads. We're really moving into the future by having things be as automated as possible. Our goal is to have you be able to simply answer your questions as you need to when you're looking at your information. So if you want to know what are my sales for this month, you should be able to answer that very quickly with Synoptics. And so our goal is to continue to make that easier and easier as we go down the road here to the future. So you'll see more and more things advance with Synoptics. More things are going to the browser. We work with on-premise and cloud. We're just connecting to everything we can, and we're trying to make life easier for those controllers out there.
Fantastic. And then one last question, and this is one of my favorites, but why would you think that Synoptic is the controller's tool of choice?
I think that any controller that would like the power to control their own reports and know that they can meet deadlines and know that the information that they have in their hands is as accurate as possible without having to wait on another department that may or may not speak the same language is going to choose Synoptics, because it takes away all of that additional translation from what IT is going to make for you to what you need. And so that in itself, being able to make decisions because you have the information at your fingertips and know that you're making the best decision because you're not getting the information so that you can bring it to the meeting. You're reviewing the information so that you can bring the best ideas and decisions to the meeting. That is a huge shift for any controller that's trying to really improve their business.
Yes, it is. I think that more and more financial executives that I talk to are really wanting to and finding themselves at the executive table and being a very important aspect of the decision of the direction for business. So I think that's a very, very good answer to my question. Gabby, thank you so much for your time today. We greatly appreciate having access to you. I know you are very important in your role at Synoptic, and so we greatly appreciate your time. And we'll be hosting another one of these in the near future. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.